Hello there, my name's Depth Charge 2030, and today I'm talking about Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, issue number 29. Take a look at that cover art. It's Megatron sporting his Autobot symbol with Tailgate looking up to him. It's kind of little neat. Just neat seeing those two together. And so the issue opens up with Tailgate. He's back to normal after taking a leave of absence because he kind of was dying of a disease called cybercrosis, I believe. Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced. So he was dying of that, but now he's all better now. He was he was MIA during Dark Cybertron, so he's kind of, oh, what's going on and whatnot. So it's like a neat little scene between him and his best bud, Cyclonus. They're just walking, and then they see Megatron walking around, and he's having some Autobots carry the coffin, and instantly Tailgate's just like, okay, why is he on the ship? What's going on? What happened? And then a drunk Autobot and another guy, they walk down the hallway, and they're like, oh, hey, Tailgate, little pal, and they're all happy to see he's walking around. Cyclonus, he's happy to be walking around, and Tailgate, he's just like, "Aw, everyone loves me. That's sweet." And then they come upon a kind of dead, I forget what they're called, but one of Tyrus' enforcers. And then we cut back to Cybertron 6 months ago, and it's still with the trial of Megatron, and so they're all like, Megatron's evil. But then we see what Rodimus is doing. He's talking to what's his name, Atomizer, and he's just like, hey, Rodimus, you want to know who tried to vote you out of the ship, out of being captain, because you effed up and whatnot. And so Atomizer, because Atomizer's point is that if he allows any of these people to back on the Lost Light, there will most likely be some tension between Rodimus and the crew members. No one will be willing to listen to him. So Atomizer leaves him with a list of names, and at first Rodimus is just like, oh no, I won't read it. But then as Atomizer leaves, he kind of just looks worried and whatnot. Then we cut over to Swerve's bar, present time. And it's just neat seeing all these characters sitting around in a bar. We've got Riptide, Nautica, and Skids. They're just sitting around with Trailbreaker, being like, dude, you're getting drunk. And he's like, yeah, I'm Trail Cutter now. Remember that. Gets drunk. And then we just cut back over to 6 months ago, where Starscream is taking the stand at the trial, and he just gives this speech about how Megatron shouldn't be killed, he should just be pitied, because he's just a failure. So Starscream just takes this entire time, everyone's looking at him, and just insult Megatron right to his face. There's this great little panel just of Megatron's face. It's just great. And then Megatron's just like, yeah, I need to talk to Ultra Magnus for a second. Can we stop this for a second? And then we cut over to present day Lost Light, where Nightbeat is actually looking at, Rung's transformation. The Rung is the psychiatrist. He's just checking out his ornament alt mode, and is just like, what is this? So that might pop up later on sometime. And then Chrome Dome, he just walks into his Hab suite and is just like, hey, Nightbeat, you want to check out what, happened to me last issue while I was listening to my recording of Rewind. And then while Chrome Dome's back is turned, Nightbeat sees actually Rewind's ghost just pop up, and Rewind is beat to hell, and it's just like, I'm a ghost. And so Trailbreaker, he's been talked into, going into the med lab and stealing Megatron's own personal energon supply. So Rewind, Skids, not Rewind, Riptide, Skids, and Nautica, they're just watching this, and Nautica's just like, I can't handle this, I'm gonna go learn or do something productive. And so Trailbreaker, he's just trying to break into the lab, but the door just disappears on him. He's just like, okay, fine, just goes right on in. And then as he's trying to tell people, Tailgate just does this whole signature move, finger in the head thing that he did on Tyrest. But when he gets Megatron's energon supply or fuel supply, he just drinks it, and then he just spits it up. He feels poisoned, and then Megatron and all these other Autobots just pop in, being like, "Why did you break in here? Why are you here?" And so Skids, he feels not Skids, Trailbreaker, he feels poisoned, so he just creates his own panic bubble that keeps everyone out. And so, yeah, that's actually pretty neat character development of Trailbreaker, just seeing him alone in his little bubble. He's just so sad in there, and I'm just like, ugh, Trailbreaker. And then we cut back to the trial, where turns out because of the trial, because of Starscream, and how fair the trial apparently is, what's it called? The popularity of Starscream and the Autobots have shot through the roof. It's like, yeah, the Nails and Non-Aligned Transformers, they're just like happy. They're like, yeah, this is amazing, cool, yeah. And so that's good for Optimus. He's just like, sweet. And so Nightbeat and Chrome Dome, they're going back to, Chrome Dome's Hab Suite and whatnot. And then they find that the door is actually gone. Or not the door, but the room is practically gone. It's just a room into space. And it's just like, oh, that dark void. And you see the ship. So stuff is disappearing and whatnot. And then Megatron, after Trailbreaker is out of the bubble, he's just like, you're okay? And Trailbreaker's just like, oh yeah, and then Megatron just smacks him in the back of the head, just dislodging his chip or whatnot, I forget, his FIM chip, so he can no longer turn that off, it's just permanently on, so he can't get drunk anymore. So he's just sad, and he's just like, hey, Trailbreaker, you're now the head of security. Have fun with that. And then he just goes, oh, by the way, you opened the coffin, and because none of us are dead, let's go check what's in it. And then we find, a dead Rodimus in there, and it just raises so many questions. And then we cut over to 6 months ago, where Megatron has, asked to change his plea to not guilty, and then it ends with showing us that Rodimus has actually changed his mind, is now looking over the list of names of people who wanted to vote him out. And that's the end of the issue. What can I say about More Than Meets the Eye? It's a great series. It's just great. It's all around fun. Alex Milne, he's the name of the artist, and he just, his art works for the Transformers. It just adds a level of... It looks cartoonish a bit, but at the same time, it can be taken serious, and just the writing of James Roberts, the art, the, inks and all that, it just complements the book all around. It leaves me puzzled, asking, just because we haven't seen Rodimus up until this point, and Megatron's the captain, we're just like, holy crap, Rodimus is dead. And that just leaves so many questions. The coffin's all banged up, and it's just a great book. And we even have, Nightbeat and Chrome Dome, they're trying to solve a mystery. What's going on here? And then, sections of the ship are disappearing. It's letters disappearing, doors. It's just great. It's a great book. It's amazing. Transformers, MTMT, I gotta give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's a great book. It has great characters, great dialogue, great scenes. It's just great all around. Starscream is Starscream. Megatron is Megatron through and through. It's great. So my name's Depth Charge 2030. See y'all later.